here's my question to you, because to me, the difference with Garoppolo is mostly two things. And the first thing I think is very clear. He has a guy who he knows in the back of his mind, if my first and second read is not there, Christian is there. So he's not worried about forcing it into these tight windows to Debo or to Ayuk or to Kittle, because he knows in the back of his mind, okay, nope, not there. Nope, not there. I know Christian's going to get open. And if Christian's not open, then you just throw it away, right?
Yep.
And so he's been doing that much better these last 3 games. The ability to just go, and we call this the Alex Smith. The ability to go, it's not there. It's 3rd and long. We'll fight. We'll live to see another day, and let's just throw it away. Because in previous situations, that could turn into a pick, that could turn into a sack fumble, and then it's just the momentum and stuff, if you believe in that stuff, kind of changes. So those are my 2 things that I think are different with Garoppolo this year than previous Garoppolo. Extra weapon, but specifically a safety valve that he knows is dependable. He just needs to get it there. And this dude could be, I don't know what the size difference is, but I feel like if the 49ers wanted to, he could just be Cooper Kupp, if for their Cooper Kupp, because he's so good catching the ball in the backfield. And it doesn't take him very long to catch and then get to that top shifty speed that he has. It's just amazing to watch that dude play. But what are your thoughts on the differences or the changes in what you've seen, being that we've now been watching Jimmy Garoppolo since 2017? So that's a long time.
Yeah. And Jimmy is what he's going to be. Like, I think we've seen the best of him. I don't think he's going to get any better than he is right now. But what you can do is improve the weapons around him. And that's what the 49ers have done, right? Not only does he have a safety valve there, Christian McCaffrey, but what he's going to do is then draw another defender away from Brandon Ayuk and away from Debo and away from Kittle. He's going to draw more attention away from those guys. So now those guys are going to get more open. And when they aren't open, you could always trust that McCaffrey's going to be there waiting. And on top of that, you got Elijah Mitchell back.
Yeah.
Like he was the top running back all last year. He actually, the last 2 games has more running yards than McCaffrey.
Yeah.
And so,
we'll make that our 3rd topic. So
yeah,
we'll hit on those guys together, this pairing that you're talking about.
The group. Yeah. So, you have McCaffrey as a weapon. And I think this, and I've been trying to think back, and during the game, it really hit me. I was like, is Christian McCaffrey the best midseason trade that the 49ers have ever made? And I know we've only had him for 3 games, but it seems right now that this is probably the best in history, certainly for the Lynch era. I mean, we got Emmanuel Sanders, right, a couple years ago. That was a great one.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of another midseason trade that we were able to get that's better than McCaffrey, and I just can't think of anything off the top of my head, even going back to the Montana years.
So there are, I think, there could be something between, the last 10 or 15 years that I'm not thinking about. But I think the one that most old school 49er fans would talk about is the 49ers trading for Fred Dean I think it was it the 81 season, mid-season or something? He was not happy in San Diego, I believe, and they traded him. Rick Feinberg, who is watching, he may, because he knows those
local
eras.
Historian, Rick.
Yeah, he knows those eras really well. But that's off the top of my head. That's what I'm thinking about. But the one that I know this wasn't a trade. The one that kind of, it's a little bit different because it was this bidding war between the 49ers and the Cowboys. But in 94, when they signed Dion and they brought him in, I don't know what game it was, like, a few games into the season, and just like the jolt that he gave that defense and the swagger and the confidence, it's almost like that's what Christian has given to this offense is, we don't have to be, we don't have to only be this running team who wants to run 35 times a game, though that is where we are probably still at our best. We can actually be a little bit more dynamic. Okay, so here's my next question for you, which is, I would imagine as we get closer to the playoffs, some of these defenses are going to be keying on McCaffrey out of the backfield, right?
Mhm.
More of us, having a linebacker kind of sit back and spy him because they know that has been Jimmy's go-to, his safety valve. I know that Kyle knows, okay, when they start doing that a little bit more, and I haven't been watching closely enough to see if they were even trying to do that tonight. Christian just seemed open on every play.
Yeah.
But Kyle, being the brilliant offensive mind that he is as far as scheming guys open. Now, you may not agree with kind of the way that sometimes the Niners can't punch touchdowns in, but my thought is like, oh, Kyle's like, okay, so you're going to keep that linebacker steady. Now we're going to attack the parts of the field where that linebacker is supposed to be based
Mhm.
on what we're doing. So there's going to be this nice chess game that that we're going to see. And I hope that Jimmy is he's going to be efficient enough, he's going to be accurate enough to take advantage of those opportunities when the team is cheating a little bit more towards Christian. Do you believe that this version of Jimmy that you're seeing is going to be able to hit Debo and Kittle a little bit more than he has? Kittle's big game today, but still
Mhm.
Debo hasn't really been Debo as a wide receiver yet this season, I don't think.
No, he hasn't. That I mean, to say that anything about Debo has been disappointing, it would be kind of silly at this point. But Ayuk is the number one receiver on the team right now.
Right.
He's got the most catches and the most yards, and I think the most touchdowns as a receiver. So, but I do think, and I think that's the brilliance of bringing McCaffrey over is because once they realize they just can't leave him open, they're going to allocate more resources to him. And then you're going to get more over the middle with Debo. George Kittle is going to get not only over the middle, he's going to go deep, right? And then you're going to forget about Kyle Juszczyk, who can also catch out of the backfield. So you got all these things going on all at once, and he has all these toys at his disposal. Do I think Jimmy is smart enough and accurate enough to take advantage of them? Sometimes I question whether or not he's smart enough because he does make some dumb mistakes. But I do think one of the things that he is good at is reading defenses and knowing when someone's going to be getting open. And Kyle is good enough to have a scheme where he's like, look, I think this guy is going to bite on this, so we're going to go this way over here. And that's kind of what the defense is all about, misdirection, right? Just making you think they're going to do this, and then they're going to do this. And then at the same time, they can bring it back, and then now we're going to run it down your throat. We're going to just line up right behind Trent Williams, and we're going to push it down your throat. So they have all of these different things. If the 49ers had Aaron Rodgers, they'd be unstoppable, right? So that's
maybe
kind
not
of been,
this version of Aaron
maybe not
Rodgers.
this, but the version from a couple of years ago. If they had
Yeah.
him, they'd be unstoppable. But they don't. They got Jimmy, and he's the best that we got right now. And I think that he's been doing a hell of a job the last few weeks, and it's really been since Christian McCaffrey came on board. He's added a layer to Jimmy's game. He's making Jimmy a better quarterback than he has been before, which is crazy.